Hi guys, it's Crystal from ChristaCoDesign. Today we're learning how to work this easy double crochet poncho. We're using worsted weight yarn and a 6mm crochet hook. The Ressa poncho comes in 4 sizes, small and medium, which you'll need 1603 yards of number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. Large and extra large size, you'll need 1795 yards. 2 and 3X, you'll need 1922 yards, and 4 and 5X, you'll need 1996 yards of number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. Okay, to get started, we are going to start with a slip knot and slide that onto our crochet hook. For small and medium size, you're going to chain 102. For large and extra large, 112, 2 and 3X, 124, 4 and 5X, 136. After you've chained the correct number for your size, you're going to double crochet in the 3rd chain from your hook. And in each chain across. The last 2 chains in our row. After I double crochet in this last chain, that completes row 1. And now we're going to turn our work. And we'll start with the chain 3. This will count as our first double crochet of this row. And then double crochet in the top of the next stitch. So you have 1 here and 2 there. Double crochet in the next. And keep repeating all the way across. Okay, again, we're at the end of row 2 here. We just have a few stitches left to work into. This is actually my last stitch. Those are my chains, my skipped chains from making the first row. Okay, if you're checking your stitch count, you have 100 for small medium, 110 for large extra large, 122 for 2 and 3X, and 134 for 4 and 5. Now I'm going to start with a chain 3 alternative, which is what I prefer to use when I start a row of double crochets. You can absolutely continue to use a chain 3. And then we just proceed with our 1 row repeat, double crocheting each stitch across, turn and start with your chain 3 or alternative, and keep repeating, double crocheting each stitch. So here I'm at the end of the row, and I am going to work the next stitch normally, and then you'll see that I have my chain 3 that I started the row 2 with. So now I'm going to work in the top chain here under both loops like I normally would for a stitch. So that's how that looks if you are working chain 3s to start your double crochet rows. And to contrast that, here I will finish up the next row, and if you remember, I started this row with the chain 3 alternative. So here's my chain 3 alternative. You'll see there what it looks like on the side. You're going to go in the top part here under the 2 loops. There you go. And that's how that one looks. Either one is fine. You're going to keep repeating that 1 double crochet row until you have 55 rows, or your poncho is about 24.5 inches long, or as long as you want it. Then we're ready to divide for the neckline. We're going to divide it into left shoulder stitches, neckline stitches, and right shoulder stitches. So for small and medium, you're going to divide it into 37 left, 26 neck hole, and 37 right. You want to put your stitch markers in the first and last stitches of your neck hole because you won't work into those. For large and extra large, you're going to do 40 left, 30 neckline, 40 right. 2 and 3X, 45 left, 32 neckline, 45 right. 4 and 5X, you're going to do 50 left, 34 neck, and 50 right. So you'll count 37 if you're making the small or medium, 40 for large, extra large, 45, 2 to 3X, and 50 for 4 to 5X. Then place your stitch marker in the next stitch. And then count 24 for small, medium, 28 for large, extra large, 30 for 2 to 3X, and 32 for 4 to 5X. Then place your second stitch marker in the next stitch. You'll have 37 for small, medium, 40 for large, extra large, 45 for 2 to 3X, and 50 for 4 to 5X stitches left to the end of the row. Again, you'll have 26 for small, medium, 30 for large, extra large, 32 for 2 to 3X, and 34 stitches 4 to 5X for the neckline, including the 2 marked stitches. Okay, now with our stitches marked off for our neckline, we are ready to start our next row. We'll start with our chain 3 or alternative. And then we're going to double crochet in each stitch until you get to the marker. So again, for small, medium, it's going to be 37 stitches, large, extra large, 40 stitches, 2 to 3X, 45, and 4 to 5X, 50. Then you'll arrive at your stitch marker. Okay, I'm on my last stitch before my stitch marker. And now I'm going to chain the same number of stitches that I have skipped. So for small, medium, we're going to skip these 26 stitches and we are going to chain 26. For large, extra large, we're going to skip 30 and chain 30. For 2 to 3X, we're going to skip 32 and chain 32. And 4 to 5X, we're going to skip 34 and chain 34. Okay, when I have chained and skipped, now I'm going to my next stitch marker. I'm going to work a double crochet in the stitch following the stitch marker. This will join my chains to my row. So I have a 1 for 1 chain to skipped double crochets here to make my neck hole. And then I just double crochet to the end. You'll just want to make sure you have the same number of stitches before the neck hole as you do after, so your shoulders are balanced. Again, for small, medium, that is going to be 37. Large, extra large, it's 40 stitches, 2 to 3X, 45, and 4 to 5X, 50 stitches on either shoulder. And here I am at the last stitch of this neck hole row. And now we're going to turn our work and we're going to work back with double crochets. When we get to the chains, we are going to work in them 1 for 1, just like they are a stitch. Starting with our chain 3 or alternative, double crochet in each stitch across, including the chains. Okay, here we are at our neckline stitches. I have one more regular double crochet to work into, and then I'll be working into these chains. Okay, so just like the top of our chain 3, I prefer to go under 2 loops when I'm working into these kind of chains. The very first one is a little tight, but they do get easier. Now you just keep working them across, making sure to stitch 1 double crochet in each chain. Okay, here we are at our last chain for the neckline. And then you're going directly into your double crochets for the other shoulder. And you just continue your row like normal. Okay, and now we are just going to continue our one row repeat so that our back panel matches our front. You want it to be the same length, and then your poncho is done.